Hey, what's happening, everyone? Today I wanted to do a roster tour of my own with you guys to share with you all what I'm currently working on. Especially given the Emma Frost milestones that are currently on, I wanted to share who I am spending my gold on and working away in my roster. Today is my day 840 of playing the game, which I guess is roughly like 2 years and a third. And sometimes I can't believe how long I've actually been playing this. It's been maybe about 2 months or so since I've done my last roster tour, so I'll show you guys what's going on with me and give a peek at my Blitz and War teams while I'm at it. My arena hasn't really changed, I'm just still using Black Order, so there's not much to show there. Since this video isn't live, I won't be giving away anything with War either, even though we have one ongoing right now. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So I just wanted to start here at the roster, or not the roster page, the profile icon page, I guess you could say. So I'm currently sitting at a collection power of 7.74 million. Now, I don't remember what this is up since about 60 days ago or whenever I last did my roster tour, but I think I've been growing at roughly maybe 500,000 a month, I think seems about right. My strongest team power is about 547k. Those are just my top characters. A lot of, War MVP doesn't really mean anything, but since I'm the leader of my alliance with the highest collection power, that's probably why I got that. And then my arena rank is still staying around the same, usually in the top 10. However, I have been noticed a little bit more pushback than normal. I don't know if this has anything to do with the 3,000 orange orb mistake, that now maybe people are building up their Black Order a lot quicker than they were before. I don't know. And at least by the time of this video, there hasn't been any change in that. There hasn't been any talk or discussion about that. I'm not really going to go too much into that here, but that is something that I hope Scopely is going to be considering pretty soon, because that's going to impact all of us, both at the top and basically everywhere, anywhere that involves orange gear. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we are going to go into our roster here at the top of our roster page. So these are the characters, the stars. These are the characters that I'm working on in terms of gold and levels. So not necessarily gear, but I'm trying to get their levels up. And that's because that's kind of the easiest way to spend your gold for Emma Frost milestones. I'm sitting on, what was it? How much gold was I sitting on? 19 million. So, I have a lot that I need to spend, but I'm only spending roughly, 1.25 to, what was it, 1.8 million, whatever that next shard level was, per day. So I'm not spending a whole lot, and you can't really get a whole lot out of it. For example, well, maybe not him, but go to 71 to 72. That's like almost 400k gold. So it costs a lot to level these characters up. Now, I really wanted to play more around with my supernatural characters. That's why I've been leveling them up. Also, my Doctor Strange is 5 red stars. I've been trying to focus on characters who are 4 and 5 red stars to get them up leveled, because I think that they scale better when you have more red stars, when you have more yellow stars, and so those are the characters that I've been working on in terms of gold now. So I'm going to get Doctor Strange to level 71. That 71 tend to be where I kind of leave them at, unless I'm going really hardcore on them. So I'm not really going hardcore on some of these characters, but I'll probably leave them at 71. Yo-Yo I've started investing in more recently. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, because I actually haven't been using her as much as I should. She's tier 12. She's not in the 13 or 14 range. I don't even have the gear, apparently, to take her up. I don't know. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. I think I've been... a lot of these orange things here... Oh, these things maybe? The superior MRI? I don't know. But yeah, so I haven't been working her on too much, but now recently my alliance got to U7.1, so we unlocked the next difficulty in Ultimate 7, and I've noticed that I can't really auto with the same characters as I were using before, so I'm kind of going through my roster a little bit in terms of raid characters and trying to build them up. So Yo-Yo is definitely on that list, so she'll probably hit level 75, because that'll give extra resistance and focus for her, which is kind of cool. Squirrel Girl, that was a more recent unlock. I did pull that 7 red star on her, so I've been working on her a little bit. She's still tier 11. Probably when that 5th Young Avenger comes out, I'll probably work a lot harder on her, obviously, because I have that 7 red stars. So by obligation, I kind of need to. Now with Baron Zemo, because I got him as well, I've been leveling up Hydra Grenadier. I'll probably take him to 70, maybe 71 in terms of levels, and leave him there. What tier was he at? Oh, 10. Okay, I don't know how high I'm going to take him, but he is 5 red star. I thought I saw 6. So, it's not too bad. Like I said, they're going to get a lot of stats out of leveling, especially up to level 70, because that's where sort of things stop in terms of damage. After 70, when you level up to 71 to 75, mostly you're just getting focus and resistance. Other characters I'm working on here, Brotherhood 2.0, Blob. I don't know why, I'm just really fascinated with Blob. I think he's a really fun character, and I really like his passive for his, his counterattack thing that slows people. I think it's pretty cool, and I like using Brotherhood 2.0. Now, of course, these are the other Hydra characters that were reworked. Winter Soldier, I'll probably take him to 70. Ironheart, I'm doing right now to 70. She's farmable as well, so a lot of these characters some of these that have hearts are also farmable. Ironheart, Ghost Rider, Negasonic, and Elsa are my current energy farms for shards. So Elsa's about halfway to 7. The others, you'll see some Sinister 6 here on the list. Rhino and Mysterio, I'm unsure. I'm not really putting a lot of gold into them right now, but with Doc Ock on the way, I don't know who I'm going to be using in the team yet. Mysterio, I might drop him off the list. I think because of the passive rework that he got wasn't actually as good as everyone thought it was going to be, because sometimes, and he's still bugged as of this video, so his passive clones sometimes don't spawn with the ability that revives them, and yeah, and it's 2 turns to get that off, not just 1. Negasonic, of course, like I said, farming, who I'm currently farming for the Doc Ock event. As of this video, also, no X-23 yet, and Domino will be going into the Blitz orbs, so that's the only way that you'll be getting them. If X-23 doesn't become farmable, then it makes it very difficult for free-to-play players to even consider unlocking Doc Ock, so that's not going to happen. Merc Lieutenant, and was Merc Rycard on here somewhere? I thought he was on the list. Yeah, down here. This was because of my Merc team with Taskmaster. I was mainly just leveling them up. I stopped for the moment. But yes, that's why Bullseye's up here as well. So I've just kind of been focusing on sort of my war teams at the moment, trying to get some of their levels up a little bit more, because that's where I'm spending a lot of my gold. Now, as of this video, I haven't unlocked Emma Frost, but I'm awfully close. So that's where a lot of my resources are going to go into her. I'm probably going to take her to tier 14, which means I'm going to be spending about, I don't know, what is it, 5 to 6 million gold to take someone up to 75 tier 14. So that's going to take me a handful of days of her own Emma Frost milestone as well. Now, of course, as of this video as well, no Doc Ock or Electro. I just keep them starred so they're up at the top. And you guys can take a look at all of my tier 14 characters that I have. This is following my second... actually, I haven't leveled up anyone yet. So these are as of my second run of Dark Dimension 3. Why am I blanking there? And I do have Venom. Venom was my most recent upgrade for the Dark Dimension 3 city lane, but beyond that, I haven't really done anything else. I plan to hoard a lot of my orange gear because we have no idea what's going to come for Dark Dimension 4. So in terms of requirements for that, I don't want to upgrade too many characters into the orange, tier 13 or 14, because I don't want to be caught out not having the required resources for that when it does come around. Some things I regret, though. I kind of regret Invisible Woman. Magneto, he's sitting here with the 6th red star. He's really high power, but I haven't taken him into the orange. Really good character, of course, but again, for that reason of the orange materials, I don't know if I want to. I tend to leave characters at tier 12 once they're kind of through the purple section, and then unless they're super OP, I don't normally take them into tier 13 or 14. Some characters I wish I could take back in the orange gear, but these were characters I used in, Dark Dimension 2 and so on, like Jessica Jones, Rocket Raccoon. Don't even ask about that. That was my BKT days. Spider-Man, don't ask about this one either. This was like my first 5 red star I think I ever pulled back in the day. And then, of course, Groot and Nick Fury, Shield Security. These were all really good characters back in Dark Dimension 2 days when it first came out. Graviton, I have a 6 red star on him. I do really like him as a character, but he's not worth my resources into the orange for the same reason. And, yeah, I tend to leave characters at the tier 12 level. Captain Marvel's a very strong character. Probably going to get a little bit of flack for not having her higher than this, but... yeah, I just didn't jump the bandwagon. I still use her with my Young Avengers, but aside from that, not getting a lot of use out of it. And I don't know what else is there to say about my roster. Some of these just I was using more before. Falcon I used to use in what was called the Tech Wing team for Ultima 7, but that dropped off the wagon as well. Ultron's like way down. No, where's Ultron? Is he back up here? Yeah, Ultron fortunately has no red stars, so he's kind of stuck at this power level. 7775 though. Still a really good character. Yeah, I mean, I have most characters leveled up to a decent amount. I would like to bring up the Fantastic Four a little bit more, because I think they're a very well-rounded war team. So I've been focusing a lot on my war characters. I am getting to the point, though, where I have like 10 or 11 war offense teams, and I really need to consider who is the better of them all, so I can just focus a bit more. I did pull a 5 red star crystal, and so I have been working on her levels a bit. I should probably add her on there, because I should probably take her to level 70 at the very least, anyways, to get some more damage out of there. Yeah, I took Strife to 71, because he got a big improvement with the Emmerfrost buff, or the Emmerfrost patch, rather. Not really working on the Avengers rework. I just still don't think that they're really that huge to make it worth investing in my opinion. And the rest are just sort of leftover characters that I've done over time over the last 2 years to, you know, for one reason or another, I use occasionally but don't use hardcore. War Machine, Iron Man, they might get a level bump a little bit later because they are part of that Power Armor 2.0 and still a very strong war team. Like I said, working on my war teams right now. But everything else, Taskmaster, this will eventually get up higher. Did pull a really nice 6 red star, but he's not farmable, so you know, maybe when I get that 5th red star activated, I'll gear him up a little bit more. Of course, a really great character anyways, so, you know, he is definitely worth your skill gear if you have some spare. I've been leveling up Baron Zemo, though. Baron Zemo was where my skill gear went recently, so I don't really have a whole lot left for Taskmaster right now. And what can I say? I mean, Beast still sitting at the bottom. Who's at the very bottom? All the usual suspects: Ravager, Stitcher, Merc Sniper, Soldier, all these useless kind of characters. Some people use Aim Researcher, but I don't. Beast was never really a big fan, but I know some people like them. I just, you know, I have a 2-star Beast. I didn't go hard on the Blitz, so I'm just leaving him there. And everyone else is pretty trash. Hand's trash, all these other... Sinister Shocker, I'm not even going to bother. He's one of the few characters I only have a 2 red star. I think he's one of 2 characters that I have a 2 red star, so I got really unlucky with him. So, you know, if I do get Doc Ock, I'll just let him summon Shocker. It'll probably be a better version than this one. Don't know what I'm going to do with Vulture. Haven't decided if he's going to be benched or not for me. And I actually do like X-23. I think she's a really good character. And then Karnak, I haven't really bothered to level. Kind of low on the red stars. And yeah, so these are the X-Force characters. I'll probably, if I do get Doc Ock, I'll probably carry the event or try with Cable, because he's like sitting at like 70k for me or something. And yeah, there's really not much else to say here. So let's just end this part, the roster part, and let's jump on over to our Blitz. So currently, as of this video, we do have the Sabretooth Blitz that's ongoing right now. But I just wanted to show you guys what my current teams are at for my blitzing and the power that's for each of my teams as well, and what I'm using. So with Baron Zemo's blitz coming around on Thursday, this, you know, I'm going to be trying a little bit harder on that. So this is, I've arranged all my teams by power. So starting at the top, we have my Black Order, which is my strongest team, and my Arena team as well. So in terms of my power here, you guys can take a look at that. Thanos is obviously by far the strongest. He's 7775, 7 red stars, so he's maxed out. Now after that, we do have my Symbiotes team. I do use Symbiotes with Shuri. Now, sometimes when I do war matches, I have them on the offense as well. I do use Shuri typically, but instead of Spider-Man, I normally use... Sometimes I use Green Goblin, or I'll use Drax, because Drax is a good way when I use them against the Asgardians. A good way to eat Loki is mind control attacks, so that's what I do there. Third is my BKT team, and this is what I've used. That's what I used in Ultimate 6 a long time ago now, it seems. Like sometime last year when I was doing Ultimate 6 still, but this was the typical BKT team that I was using, although you'd probably use Thanos instead of Vision here, but Thanos goes elsewhere now. This is my X-Men team here, 373k, tier 14, Colossus and Phoenix. The others are kind of falling off. Cyclops is farmable now, though, as of this video in the raid store, so I hope to get him up to 7-star, and he'll be a little bit less squishy, because I do find that sometimes when I'm going up against certain battles, he's like one of the first ones to bite it. My Asgardians here, 360k. They're not bad, but, you know, not the best that I have. Hela's at tier 14 because of Dark Dimension, and that's really all I can say about there. AIM, I really like AIM for some reason. I've always really liked them. They were one of the best minion reworks in my opinion, and Scientist Supreme is amazing, but just overall I really like the characters, so yeah, they're sitting up fairly high as well. My Black Bolt and Humans here, you can see this is a big mismatch with Karnak, but I don't really need it. Quake, I got lucky on red star pulls, and yeah, this is a pretty easy auto blitz team as well. Defenders, oh man, back when defenders were good. They kind of struggle a little bit on blitzes above tier 7. You really need to find the right matchup for them because they can't really beat a lot of the more meta teams out there these days, especially when you're punching up. My Fantastic Four, this should be probably flipped around now. They're doing okay. I'm trying to bring them up slowly, evenly. As you can see, they're pretty close together in terms of the power, and I'll probably put some more levels into them. I need to get Thing a little bit higher, and probably in gear as well, because when I'm fighting certain characters, especially Shield Coulson, it ends up being Invisible Woman that gets the taunt off that one. I would prefer it to be on the Thing or something if possible. My Brotherhood 2.0, slowly coming up there. We need to bring up Blob, Toad, and Pyro a little bit more. I was a bit unlucky with the red stars on Toad. He's sitting at 3 red star. But I really like this team. They're very good at countering a lot of teams as well. This isn't an Alliance War video, but, you know, I really like them. This is my Marauders team here. I will be substituting Kingpin out with Emma Frost as soon as I get her. Kingpin's just a really good sort of drag and drop character that you can use for a lot of teams, so that's why he's there. And then we have Shield. This is Shield without Coulson. Shield with Shield Trooper. This is an easy team for me for Blitz as well, normally, depending on my matchups. Power Armor 2.0. Unfortunately, a bit on the lower end of power. That's probably because of, well, these 3 here. Not my priority for bringing them up. They're still useful in Alliance War, and for where my alliance is at, I can find someone to kill with them. This is my Ultron and just random team. I tried to find who was left over so that they could get some extra points. My Young Avengers, a little bit higher on the team power, 253 here. Most of the damage does come from Captain Marvel, so I don't know what they're going to do with Young Avengers with the 5th character, but they're going to need to find someone that, you know, does just as much damage as Captain Marvel or something similar, because they're a really fun team, but their damage is lacking. So if they want to be really competitive or, you know, countering other characters, they're definitely going to need someone really strong as a 5th character. Now this is my, like, Avengers reworked sort of team here, and this has Coulson in it because he's actually an Avengers character, so that's why I'm using them all together. Black Widow's special, it speeds them up as well, so yeah, it's not too bad, not the best, not the worst. My Supernatural team, I actually really like the Supernatural team for some reason. I recently put the T4 passive into Ghost Rider, so that would give him extra hit point survivability as well. And then we got our Red Skull team and our X-Force team. Not much to say about Red Skull. Now that Zemo is out, in terms of war anyways, he's kind of getting crushed pretty easily. X-Force, I again also haven't been leveling them up too much. Once they become farmable, I might invest in them a bit more, since they do counter a couple of strong teams. It's just that I don't like to invest too heavily into characters that aren't farmable unless they're super OP, kind of like Emma Frost, but at least there's ways to get her up to 4-star realistically. Now, the rest are just kind of the dregs. Kree Minions, back when it was okay. My Merc team, that should be up here. I'm going to work on them slowly. I mostly need to get Taskmaster up a bit higher, because at least as a standalone character, Taskmaster is probably the best out of all of them. I do like the Killmonger variant of this team because he's quite strong as well, because, you know, screw the Wakandans, because they're just a really awful team. They're really easy to punch up against in war too. My new Zemo team, which also has Kingpin on it. I realized that I now have him on 2 different Blitz teams. I'll need to change that or get rid of him on the other one. Once Emma Frost comes out, that shouldn't be an issue. I'll just leave him here. I really like the Zemo and the reworked Hydra characters. It's a lot of fun. If you've checked out any of my War Offense videos with Zemo, I really love it, and I look forward to using them a bit more. Sinister Six with Swarm, I took Vulture out. Not really using them too much. You know, they're okay in Blitz. I can't win against everything, but yeah. And more to say about this once Electro and then come out, though. And this is just kind of the dregs here. They don't really go anywhere. They kind of suck right now. And here is my, at the bottom, this is my raid team here. You guys might have seen in my other video. This is my typical U7 raid team that I use here. Just pull it up really quick. And this is what I'm using in Ultima 7 and 7.1 right now. Oh, now let's go back here. Oh, crap. I have to go all the way back to the bottom. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked that. I don't know what this is. I think I was using this for... Oh, yeah. I was just using this to try and separate my symbiotes for my Dark Dimension 3 city lane, so ignore these 2 characters. That's just what I was doing. In case you guys don't know how to separate characters in Dark Dimension, that you just set them up in a Blitz squad and then load them that way, and then the extra characters won't show up. And then the rest, I have no idea what this is, so I'm going to delete that. And I do actually have 2 spare slots, mostly because for my raid teams and things like that, I don't actually really use save squads. I kind of just do it myself. So I do have some extra slots available, it seems. So that's always nice. Let's jump over to war now. Alright, so here is the war screen here. Looks like we're currently winning at the start of our own this alliance war here. Let's jump over onto the defense to start, though. Luckily, this video won't be live, so nobody can take advantage of this. Although, seeing this, maybe this is giving away a little bit of what I have in my on my alliance. But here I am in the bridge on the left-hand side. I've always been in the bridge for quite some time. There's a couple of teams here I really want to replace. So the defenders, not much to say there. I mean, I just don't really have a whole lot of use for them right now. So they're currently sitting in my, this is my next team to replace. So if there's ever another war defense team to put up, maybe Sinister 6 with Doc Ock, possibly, they're going to get the boot. And sometimes you can use the defenders on offense now against AIM. I've also seen people use them against the new Marauders. If you replace, I think it's Luke Cage with Ultron, I believe works. And that's called like the Deftron team that beats the Marauders. Do have my Red Skull team here, team number 2. They're okay, but Zemo is beating them quite a bit for those people with Zemo. It's a very easy win against Red Skull teams. My Merc Taskmaster team here, team number 3. Not much else to say about that. Need to work on Taskmaster a little bit more here. My BKT is also on the defense here. And then we have the Marauders team, or Moltron. I prefer this. I think I might end up removing Sabretooth actually and putting in Emma Frost, because I think that having the sort of Ultron variant I think makes it a little bit tougher, and I don't personally feel that Sabretooth actually adds a whole lot to the team. He's a little bit of damage, and unless you have like 7 Red Star, I still don't think he's going to be hitting all that hard. Sabretooth, unfortunately, I don't think he's the best character, but Mystique definitely needs to stay on the team, and so do the rest of them. Number 6, we have Agent Coulson and the SHIELD team. That's pretty standard war defense team there. 7 as Guardians. It's a little bit higher now that we have Hela at tier 14. Again, standard war defense team. And then 8 might be a bit controversial, but it is my Black Order on the defense. Because they're so beefy, I do feel that they definitely do perform very well against the alliances that I'm playing against. With the power this high at 550 with all the buffs, they do get quite a few. I can get anywhere from 5 to 10 defense wins with this. But if you have a Black Order team sort of in the 300k, 350 maybe range, I would maybe consider leaving them for the offense. But if you have them completely maxed out, they can perform really well, because depending on the alliances that you're going up against or the players you're going up against, they might not realistically have very many good teams that can even deal with this that well. So if they're all balanced, and that's the important part, is that they're actually geared up balanced. That wouldn't even make sense. As long as that they're all together balanced out, because once one dies, then Thanos doesn't become empowered anymore. So the key is to keep them all, from dying, which realistically you need to have them all leveled up and geared to 14 or as high as possible to stop that from happening. And gear 14 is the best way of doing that. Now I have them in the bridge. We do have the engineering and security adjacency buff, so this really helps my teams get through this as well. So yeah, it's been going pretty well for me. And I actually prefer it if they attack me first, because then they waste a lot of their energy. But currently they're not going, in this war anyways, they're going down the middle, so we'll see how it ends up going. I just wanted to show you kind of the teams that I'm using for my war defense, and then we might be able to jump into war offense. I'm not going to attack anyone, but I just want to show you the characters I have available on using my Blitz roster. So I do have the Asgardian team, or sorry, the Symbiote team, which I normally use against Asgardians, but I did use them already today. So that is normally this team here. And then we have our X-Men team. So this is another top attack team that I use here. AIM. I use this against... I've been able to do this against the people who do have Brotherhood still. I can beat them with that. And then Hero Brawlers. Sometimes you still see Young Avengers, things like that. Any characters that don't deal with debuffs very well. It tends to be a lot of offense type teams, but Supernatural, which again isn't always on the defense, but they serve a purpose from time to time. My Black Bolt team, another really strong team. Now that we have Baron Zemo, I don't need to use them against Red Skull, so I can kind of save them against moderate Black Order. I find that Black Bolt is a very strong killer to even just kill a couple of characters, the weaker characters in the Black Order, and this really helps there. My Fantastic Four, of course, they're a strong war offense team. They're a very good all-arounder kind of team, so that's why I've been trying to build them up a little bit more as well. And then we do have the Brotherhood 2.0. I did use them today already, though, so that's why they're blanked out. But they are one that I save for War Offense too. Now beyond that, we have Bower Armor 2.0. Again, another offense team, so they are quite strong. I use them a lot against Marauders, actually, because I find that they do work fairly well against them, or any Ultron or Marauders teams, things like that, I normally save them for. After that, it starts getting a bit iffy. The Young Avengers can do some things, but I don't. This is normally the bottom when I am like looking for extra attacks. Supernatural I would prefer actually over the Young Avengers at this point. I probably should have Captain Marvel on defense somewhere, to be honest, but I didn't really have anywhere to put her. Supernatural is a team that I use quite frequently on lower punches of Agent Coulson teams, Shield teams, and some Marauders you can do as well. They're normally better punching down because it gets a bit risky if you do try to punch too much up with this team, but I do really like the team as well. Beyond that, I do have the X-Force team, of course. They're a very strong offense team, but I don't have them built up very high, so in terms of the teams that I can use them up against, it's a little bit limited at this point. And then, yeah, after that, we do have our Zemo team here. This is what I've been using more lately to try and get some video footage of, and also trying to see what kind of attacks I can do against Hydra. I'll probably move on to trying other teams maybe as well. I don't know if they can do Agent Colt, like shield teams. I haven't quite tried it yet, but maybe it might be possible. And then after this, I do have some other teams that I don't really, I don't think I ever really get a chance to use any of these because I don't really have that many attacks anymore by the time I get to the bottom. So those are my main teams there for War Offense. I just wanted to show some of them off for you guys, and that is the end of my roster tour, I think. Alright, so we're at the end of our tour of day 840 of my roster. Honestly, in terms of what I'm bringing up, I'm always waiting for the next best thing in terms of characters. I'm looking forward to finally unlocking Emma Frost and playing around with her, but also with Doc Ock on the horizon if I manage to grab him so I can play around there. I think my roster progression will change a lot more when things like level 80 and ISO 8 come out, because I'll definitely need to be a bit more selective at that point who gets my precious resources. But right now it's just become a thing of just leveling up all my existing characters up to like level 70 and balancing out the power levels of my team a bit better. I'd love to know what you guys are currently working on though, and what your focus has been in the game. For me, it's just trying to raise my war teams up a bit more and a couple of raid characters that I've neglected now that I've started doing harder U7 modes. But anyways, that's all from me for today, so I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and of course, until next time, stay safe and I'll see y'all later. Waylon signing out.